lifetime. Today, the Sachem Relay for Life will be that day for all of you. It is an absolute honor for me to introduce to you, she is a triple threat. She is not only our a Sachem resident, she has been our staff partner. This year she took it to a different level and decided to co-chair, and she is also a cancer survivor. So if you can put your hands together for Miss Dawn TROPEANO.
Hi everybody. I see a lot of familiar faces out there. Yes, I am a cancer survivor. 13 years ago, when I heard those dreadful words, "you have cancer," I really truly thought that it was a death sentence. Little did I know that those 3 words would change my life forever. And I would be standing here sharing my story with all of you. This is a first. I have not shared my story at a relay. I've been doing relay for how long now? 6 years? And I've never shared my story. So I really am honored to share my survivor story here with all of you. At the age of 36, I was experiencing significant changes in my health, extreme fatigue, unexplained weight loss, and pain in my right breast, where at that time I had discovered a pea-sized lump. After explaining my symptoms and complaining to my doctor for almost 2 years, I was not feeling any better, and the lump had become much larger. At first, when I had brought it to the attention of my physicians, the diagnosis was stress. You're just stressed, don't worry about it, you'll be fine. So finally I made the decision to become my own advocate and insist upon a mammogram, which then led to a biopsy, and the outcome was shocking. Stage 3 cancer, aggressive, invasive inductal carcinoma that had now spread to the lymph nodes. For 2 years, I had gone undiagnosed. I knew something was wrong. I knew that things just weren't right. But at the age of 36, who would have thought then to go for a mammogram? But now we really need to take control of our lives, and if we know something doesn't feel right, we really need to be our own advocate. So I share this with you because you need to know that cancer doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter whether you have a family history of cancer. You know your body, and if something doesn't seem right, again, you need to be your own advocate, because early detection truly does save lives. So, upon my diagnosis, what do I do now? How do I tell my 3 small children? How am I going to get through all of this? I felt like there was no hope in sight. I had known only one other person at the time who had had breast cancer, and she had lost her battle. With no one to talk to and not knowing what to expect or where to turn, I went online to gather as much information as I could, and we all know how overwhelming that can be. I was confused, I was overwhelmed, and on the website I came across the American Cancer Society. So I just jotted down that number, figuring American Cancer Society, they probably have the facts, they do a lot of research. Jotted down the number thinking, was I going to use it or not? I had no clue. So after explaining to my children that Mommy has cancer, still very unsure of what the outcome was going to be, I convinced them through the tears that we were going to be okay, we'd get through all of this as a family, and I was going to be fine. After several surgeries and much more of the unknown, the next couple of visits to the doctor's office introduced me to terminology I had never ever heard before. I was going to have chemotherapy for the next 6 months, and then radiation for 6 weeks after that, blood work, shots, you name it. So overwhelming. I was going to lose all of my hair, feel really tired, and I was really unsure if I could even continue working or care for my family. Everything at that point in my life was spinning out of control. After my first chemo treatment, reality set in. I knew there was no turning back. This was real. I had cancer. I lay awake at night for several weeks with countless questions running through my mind. It was 2 a.m. one night, and I remember that the American Cancer Society number indicated 24/7. So I decided to call that number, thinking I would have gotten a recording. I would have been directed to a reliable web page, perhaps just leave my number, and at the very least, somebody would have called me back or contacted me sometime in the near future. To my surprise, there was another person on the end of the phone. It was 2 a.m. I thought I must have dialed the wrong number. It was the correct number. I spoke to a very kind, caring, and understanding person on the other end of the phone. She listened until I stopped crying and assured me that someone would return my call the next day. And they did. That was my very, very first encounter with the American Cancer Society. I was able to get a wig. I was provided much-needed resources, and who knew that weeks later a Reach to Recovery volunteer would call, and she explained to me everything that I was about to experience and provided me with support, encouragement, and words of wisdom. I share these words with so many people throughout the course of my career now, and I'll proudly share them with you today. For those of you who stand here with the purple shirts on, you know what I'm about to say. There's life after chemo, and she was living proof. I truly believe that knowledge is power. I believe that everything happens for a reason. Having the support of family and friends and keeping a positive attitude helped me pull through this and my darkest moments. And now, I am living proof. And everybody, all of you survivors that are out here today, big round of applause for all of you, because you are living proof. You're living proof that early detection saves lives. My journey now seems to have come full circle. I've had the honor of working with all of you for the past 4 years. 4 years I was your staff partner. I've been with the American Cancer Society now going on 7 years, and it's come full circle. My children have grown. They've become well-adjusted young adults. They were my source of strength through all of this. Without them by my side, I wouldn't have had the strength to fight. My daughter Nicole is here today. Big round of applause. She went through a lot. Thank you, honey. I feel privileged to be able to raise hope and awareness for those who are fighting the fight, and help to create that dream of becoming one step closer to celebrating a world with less cancer and more birthdays. And all of you helped make that possible. So a big round of applause for all of you. So our opening ceremonies are about to come to an end, and again, I feel very privileged to have shared my story with all of you. We honor all of those who have been touched by cancer, survivors and caregivers alike. So caregivers, a big round of applause for our caregivers. We thank all of our teams and our sponsors who helped make this event possible. Big round of applause for all you guys. So guys, are we ready to finish this fight? Come on, you can do better than that. Are we ready to finish this fight? That's right. So at this time, I'm going to invite all of our cancer survivors to make their way to the track, and we're going to line up, all of our caregivers and spectators are all going to line up inside the middle of the field, and we're going to root our survivors on as they take that first lap. So, can I have a big round of applause as they line up on the track? And can I have a big round of applause for all the teams here who have done such an amazing job with their fundraising efforts. Everybody, please take the track. Our survivors, please take the track. There you go.
She did great. I think that's enough.